Hi, kids. My name's Night Night, the clown. I'm in the game, but that doesn't mean I'm not with you. I see you there on your phone, watching me. I see you too on the computer. We're all just great people. Have you been eating your vegetables like your parents asked? That makes Night Night very happy. You know what makes Night Night not so happy? When you don't play Fortnite. Fortnite is Night Night's time with you. I think I'm a funny clown. I think I make you laugh. And surely all of you bought me when I came out. Oh, you didn't? That makes Night Night not so happy. That makes Night Night sad. Why don't you like me? What did I do to you? Why are you tensing up? Night Night wouldn't hurt you. unless you didn't buy me. You're gonna pay. You're gonna be just like a balloon when you pop. You ever have a bad dream about a clown? Well, that's me. I told you. I'm with you. I'm even with you when you sleep. That's where my name Night Night comes from. Why are you so scared? I'm with you in the game. And since you didn't buy me, I have to be in your dreams. Oh, the things we'll do. You like heights? How about falling from? What about swallowing swords? Why, Night Night the Clown has all sorts of demons. I mean, friends who would love to play with you. If you bought me, Night Night thanks you. If you didn't, I'll see you tonight in your dreams. Wow, so many of you are coming to see me. Before, I was lonely. I was also scared. They got rid of my sister farm. From all that remains, I sit still diligently all day. Crows calling, players looting, players dying. I see it all. I see the victories, I see the defeats. I can also hear everything you say. I know it isn't much, and my power isn't something of mystic being, but just know, I know everything you reveal out loud. I hear the fights you have. I hear your mother tell you to get off. I hear the cheers you give when you win. I hear the sound of misery when you lose. But the worst things I ever hear, on a night similar to this, there was a player. He came to my field. At one point, I think he even saw me. Him being new though, he didn't know. I heard his mother scream at him to get off. He ignores it, saying he wanted to play more. Mother tells him now, and that their house is on fire. The house caved in and trapped them both. I heard them both well. I don't have to say. Another time, a player went AFK mid-match. You could hear his father wailing on him. The kid was crying. I hear everything, good and bad. I hold no judgment in the best of news or the worst of news. So when you pass on my fields, have no fear. I might just be your only witness to whatever horrible things may happen to you.
Gather round and I'll tell you the story of the Tomato Man's lost tomato head and his precious Tomato Town's demise to none other than his rival in Greasy Grove, the Beef Boss. The rivalry between these two goes way back, but like all locations, each had their favorite. Greasy Grove had their Durr Burger, owned by the Beef Boss, and Tomato Town had Tomato Head's Pizzeria. Over the years, people came to love the food at Durr Burger, so much that it had expanded all over. It was in Tilted Towers, Risky Reels, Haunted Hills. You know the location? The Durr Burger was there. The profits were great for the Beef Boss, and he enjoyed owning a very successful chain that was all throughout the world. But there was one place he didn't conquer yet. One last stop. One final objective. Tomato Town. Naturally, the people of Fortnite were shocked to see something like Durr Burger grow so fast. The Beef Boss was growing into a powerful figure indeed. He headed to Tomato Town, where he made the Tomato Head a very generous offer he couldn't refuse. But to his shock, the Tomato Head declined his offer. No matter how many offers he received, the one answer back he received was that of rejection. So, the Beef Boss plotted. He wouldn't be stopped. He knew what he had to do. He had to destroy Tomato Town and Tomato Head. Get rid of all the rivals. He went to Tomato Town very early in the day and he brought a crew with him. They destroyed Tomato Town. They burned it to the ground. It smelled like pizza and flesh. When they were able to get the Tomato Town out of his burning pizzeria, the Beef Boss cut off his head. The Beef Boss takes his head and he displays it like a trophy so that no one will ever cross his path again, and that there can only be one restaurant in all of Fortnite. Over the next few days, a new update showed that Tomato Town has been made into Tomato Temple to mourn the massacre that took place there, and the Tomato Head has been revered as a saint, an angel. He may have lost his head, but he gained the afterlife. Don't lose to your rival, or you just might lose your head. We have all been there. We have all had it happen to us. We've been playing Fortnite. We knew the time remaining before the storm will take portions of the map away. Slowly, one by one, before the huge playable area is shrunk from miles wide to the size of shipment on Call of Duty. We all have had it, at one point or another, lost track of time, and seen the blue wall go from behind us to in front of us. As we enter the storm, our health draining, and we look at the map and see just how screwed we are. I myself have been trapped inside that storm, only it wasn't the storm. It was a storm alright, but it was much more sinister. I was playing much like I always do in solos alone. I like playing solos, it's better that way, and I don't have to take the 10-ish seconds to pick up my sucky teammates. I was near Lonely Lodge when the storm indicator happened. It had the safe zone around Haunted Hills, basically on the other side of the map. I saw a guy, I just had to track him down. As I was looting his body, someone else was shooting at me. Luckily, I was able to two-tap him with my legendary heavy shotgun. Before I knew it, I saw the storm closing in on me. but it wasn't the famous blue wall I saw coming closer and closer for me. This one was red, and it had a mist to it. I ran. I ran as hard as I could. I looked at the map, and the safe zone was so far away. I turned around really quick to see the storm, while still trying to run. It was red, and it looked like it was raining blood on the inside. Before I knew it, the storm had taken me inside. That was when I felt a small itching sensation on my body. I look, and I see my character's health was getting drained. As I go through the storm, I see violent images, things that shouldn't be on the game. As I go through the storm trying to get into the safe zone, the itching sensation on my body grows into burning, and I started to feel pain. I run and I look all around me. I see a huge wooden ramp into the sky. I was hoping that meant that there was a launch pad on top of it. If there was a launch pad on top of it, it could take me to safety and away from whatever this storm was. I'm risking everything as I'm running up this huge ramp. As my health gets to 30, my body breaks out into hives and I'm struggling to breathe. I didn't want to know what would happen when my character's health hit 0, considering where my body's already at 30. I ran up the ramp, and luckily I do see a launch pad. I take it in the direction of the safe zone. As I place my glider in the air to keep me in the air for as long as I can, I'm almost there. My health is at 20, and I can feel my vision getting hazy. As my character's health goes to 10, I lose all feeling in my body. Luckily, that was just when I had landed in the safe zone. As soon as whatever happened to me, everything that was wrong with me went away. I could move, my body wasn't in pain or broken out in hives. I was normal again. I looked behind me and saw the storm. I knew I didn't want to die from it, or else suffer the consequences, so I quit out of the game. I've never played Fortnite again. The Raven appeared in the store a few days ago. After waiting some time for it to reappear, I was super excited and I bought it immediately. It looked great and I was so happy my favorite skin was now mine. I had a great day playing Fortnite. I looked at the time and decided to get off. That was when my night was going to go from great to worse. I get in my PJs, I turn off the lights, and I lie down in my bed. I drift off into sleep and I have this dream that the Raven broke into my room and proceeds to murder me. I wake up with sweat all over my body as I'm breathing deeply. I look up in the corner of my room and I see his glowing purple eyes. I hear a voice say, "Nevermore." I'm freaking out. I'm still dreaming, right? I have to be dreaming. The eyes get closer and closer until I see his whole body in view. And he tells me again, "Nevermore." My Xbox randomly turns on and it loads up Fortnite. He's making me play the game. My body won't control itself. It just gets up on its own. And my hands pick up the controller. I proceed to play Fortnite. As I see the Raven right next to me, he says once again, "Nevermore." I load into solos and I'm freaking out. I'm crying. I'm scared. I don't want to know what happens if I lose. I drop in and I decide to play it safe and I go to Tomato Town. I end up dropping and beating a guy out to a common AR and I pick him off. I loot Tomato Town, and then I run like hell to Risky Reels to get some more loot, and then use the Hop Rocks to get my way back into the circle. I look away from my screen, and the Raven is just staring at me, as if he's waiting for something to happen. I manage to loot a little bit of Risky, and I Hop Rock my way back to the circle. The circle was directly in the middle of the map, so a lot of major spots were still playable. As I'm running into the circle, just in time for the storm, I get sniped out of nowhere and die. Just like that. No warning or anything. the Xbox shuts off and the TV just turns to static, and the static was so loud. I look at the Raven, and he lets out a scream, and he says, "Nevermore." Well, you're finally awake. You gave us quite the scare. I'm sure you're terrified, Dylan. My name is Dr. Smith. Do you know what happened? Well, someone came to rob your house, but don't worry, every family member is okay. But the robber, he didn't know anyone was home. You were beaten and shot and near death. It's good to see you're alive and well. It's going to be a long road to recovery, but I'll let our attending doctor know that you're awake so he can meet you and tell you about your upcoming surgery. Don't worry, Dr. Nevermore is great. I heard of an Easter egg. It's an odd Easter egg, and apparently fairly scary. I love the occult and chasing down scary stories, or chasing down anything in the paranormal. I heard of a rumor on Reddit about the bus on Fortnite. You know, the one that takes you throughout the map and you drop out of it? There's apparently a pretty creepy Easter egg that can only be done on Friday the 13th. On Friday the 13th, go into a game of Fortnite and stay on the bus. Wait until the bus is about to kick you out and unplug your router. When you plug your router back in, do not, I repeat, do not find a new game. If you've done everything right, then you should still be on the bus. I successfully did this correctly. I'm still on the bus. But the bus isn't going over the map. It's going over a passage of time, from the past to the present and even the future. I got to see the pyramids being made, Hitler's rise to and fall from power, the assassination of JFK and his little brother RFK, the truth about Kurt Cobain's suicide. Then it went on to 9/11 and the War on Terror. It showed Steve Jobs inventing the iPhone and changing the tech landscape for good. That was the last good thing I saw. The rest of what I saw was in the future, and the future looks grim. In 2020, there will be a third world war. Russia won't back down, and neither will the US. The three main superpowers, Russia, China, and the United States, will all be fine. But the other countries get destroyed in the war. My parents, they die sometime during all the nuclear fallout. My brothers and all my cousins get sent to the front lines and die fighting. The future looks so bleak, and nothing looks like it will ever be the same again. It fast forwards even more to the year 2032. It pans to me. I'm older, and in my mid-30s. I'm in a ghetto with other survivors, huddled by a makeshift fire trying to keep warm. I don't hear birds, or cars driving by, or bugs making noise in the night. All I hear is gunfire. And then I see it. A missile coming down right in front of me, and it blows me up into a million pieces. There is no solid piece of me. It's only pink mist. After that, it pans back to me on the bus and it kicks me out. I really hope this future isn't true. And I really hope no one else tries this. Cuddle team leader appeared in the shop today. There wasn't any warning and he was only available for 1 hour. That didn't make sense. Needless to say, I bought it. I collect all the legendary skins, and I had to take advantage of this. I bought the skin and immediately equipped it. I noticed the fur wasn't pink, but a blood red. I hear in my headset a roar like a bear would make in real life, and I didn't think anything of it and joined in a solos game. I'm in the lobby and I see that I have a new taunt already equipped, and it's called the chopping block. I wasn't able to use the taunt before it put me on the battle bus. I decided to land at Dusty Divot and start on the outside of the research lab that they have there. I pick up a common tactical and start shooting the two people who landed nearby me. Unfortunately, I was able to get a gun and they weren't. I noticed when I was in game and searching for a weapon, Cuddle Team Leader's skin was pink, just like how it was supposed to be. After I got those 2 kills, however, the skin got darker and darker. It was now a mix between pink and red. I managed to go inside the middle of the research lab in Dusty Divot, because that's where all the good people go, and usually that's where you can find better guns. I was able to find a weakened John Wick and took him out in one shot with my common tactical. I killed him from behind, a coward move I know, but it still works. I was able to pick up his green pump and he had 2 minis left over. I was decently set up for a win. I leave Dusty after not seeing any more enemies and make my way to Tilted Towers. I'm able to loot some buildings that other players missed and was able to add a blue pump and blue AR to my inventory. I start grinding for more materials, and as soon as I got close to 300 wood, I start to get shot at. I build a ramp and pick him off easily, and I see that my Cuddle Team Leader's skin grew darker with my new kill. The circle gets smaller until there are only about 15 people left. The circle seems like it's going to end near Haunted Hills, and I get a move on to meet the people in the circle. I go to the part in Tilted where the meteor hit and picked up one of the new hop rocks. Because of that, I was able to get closer to the circle than I would have just by walking. I make my way into the circle just as the storm was closing in. There were 9 people left, and at least half of them were already in gunfights as I could hear them fighting. I see a person who looked like a noob and I was able to pick him off. I looked up at the HUD and saw that 4 people remained, and I used this time to build up and make a fort for what looked like to be one of the final circles. I was in luck and the circle was placed near the side of Haunted Hills that I was building at. I see a person who was engaging another enemy and waited for him to kill the other person. As I scale my fort down to go kill him, to my surprise, the other person that was left was already on his way to challenge him. I thought this was perfect, and even though not action-packed, it would get me a W anyway. The challenger eliminates the guy I was going for. I take out my blue AR and I start spraying him. Since he was hurt from engaging the guy who I was going for, I built a ramp on top of him and jumped down with my blue pump. I hit him in the head and he goes down. He goes down on a solos game. He isn't eliminated. That's when my controller moves on its own. Cuddle Team Leader got right on top of him as he was crawling, and it went to my taunt screen. He selected chopping block. He takes out an axe like it was a mining tool. And then he does it. He cut the downed enemy's head off. When it said I was the winner, its fur turned to that blood red fur that I saw when I bought him, and he let out this giant roar. As the match was about to be completed, he took off the mask portion of the skin to reveal a character's head that had some damage to it. He only had one eye. The other eye was shot clean through by a bullet, and his smile had been forced because of slits on his face. I will update as time goes on, because this character shouldn't be in the game.